VC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, y'all, what's happening? It's your girl, Constance Carter. So excited to be here tonight. I haven't seen you guys in a couple of days, and I am back and better than ever. So, what is going on in these streets tonight? We got some good tea, and I'm going to talk about it with my girls. But before they come on, I want to make sure that you are tuning in to the Fly Nubian Queen, the channel for melanated people just like you and you and you. Okay, so for information, special information or upcoming events, text the word Queens to 31996. All right, I see y'all coming in. There's thousands of you guys coming in, so come on in. Make yourself at home. Get comfortable because we about to talk. And listen, if you want to join us live, the link is on the link is in right there in the chat. So go ahead and click on the link if you want to join us live to come and have some, talk some tea with me and my girlfriends. I would love for you to do that. Okay. So while you're coming in, also make sure that you are following the Fly Nubian Queen on YouTube and on Facebook. Click the thumbs up, click the like button. So you take a moment, just click the like button, click the thumbs up, and make sure you share. All right. And then I also want you to follow me, Constance Carter, at Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter on Facebook and on Instagram. I am Constance Carter, and on YouTube. Please, 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 I want you to come follow me because I have not only good tea and information about this, but I also like to talk to things that are going to enhance your life, build your wealth, change the trajectory of your life all the time. So I have really great content on my channels that I really love just to give you some insight and just different perspectives. So me and my girlfriends are getting ready to talk, my sisters, and I want you to welcome them in. But as you are welcoming them in, I want you to put in the comments box where you are hailing from, because we know we have people that watch from all over the world. We have people that watch from, Africa and Asia and Europe, Canada. So go ahead and put it in the comments box. As you're putting it in the comments box, hit the thumbs up. Go on and give us some props. Hit the thumbs up, because what we need is we need you to make sure that you're supporting us so that other people can, join the conversation. Okay, so go and hit the thumbs up. What's up, Antonio? You know what? I love you, Antonio. You always on here. You always hanging out with us, so I appreciate you. Who else is on here, and where are you from? Ty and Maisie TV is from the DMV, one of my favorite places to be. Chef Joseph is from Virginia Beach. That's right over there by my daughter. She's at Hampton University. And hey, so my sisters, Truly Kelter Stone is from Washington, D.C. What's up? What's up? What's up, Truly Kelter Stone? And Carsandra, you said you're from the USA. Me too, girl. Me too. High five. Yes. So thank you guys for the thumbs up. Continue supporting Black excellence as we try to bring to you every single night on these stations, on these channels. But go ahead and I want you to ponder on something about open marriages. Now, we heard about T.I., we heard about Tiny and the sex allegations. We don't know if they're true or not. We don't know if they're true. However, if they're not true, then it also begs the question on, how people operate in their marriages and their relationships, and open or not. And we've heard some celebrities like Monique. We talked about Monique last week. Monique is admittedly in an open relationship. We hear about Will and Jada, them being in an open relationship. If you're going to go to the non-melanated side, I think Bruce and Demi Moore were in an open relationship. So there are many out there, and they're, just common everyday people that are in open relationships. Some people are in open relationships, don't even know they're in an open relationship. So I want to bring my sisters on here. Hey, sis, my ladies, my girlfriends, Miss Stay Hall. What's up? Hey, sis.
Yes.
And my girl, April Sam Pay. Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
So let's talk about it, y'all. What do you
forget about Ruby D and Ozzy?
Did they have an open relationship
back then? What you mean back then, honey? Back then, relationships were all the way open. They were just open. They were busting it wide open. Why you think
did they really consider it open, or was it just one-sided where the man was Papa was a Rolling Stone, but the woman was at home?
No. It was an open marriage. That's the reason why Will and Jada, like supposedly, Will and Jada had a conversation
Okay.
with Ruby D and Ozzy
Uh-huh.
about their relationship. And they were like, child, please, why are you making such a big deal over this?
Ooh, clutch my pearls. I had some on.
I ain't know that.
You ain't know.
I ain't know that. Because like I said, some people be in open relationships, they don't even know they in an open relationship. They just somebody open and somebody closed, or they both might be open. You know, the level of infidelity that happens in a marriage, skyrocketing. And the number of divorces that have happened over the past year have absolutely skyrocketed. I have a girlfriend who's a notary, and she said she used to notarize mostly mortgages. Only thing she's notarizing these days is divorce papers.
Well, that's because of quarantine and people were stuck together and their true colors were coming out. Or just imagine you're in quarantine. It's a little harder to sneak off and be with your boo or send those texts. So I think some stuff went down during quarantine that caused people to go their separate ways.
But what do you think? You both are married, right? You're married, Stay. You're married,
Yeah.
April. Would you be in an open marriage? Either of you? Why?
What is the point in being in a marriage if it's going to be open? Like if I want to date and see other people, then we can just be cool and you might be my main dude or whatever it is. But what is the point of a marriage? Then that means that there's something lacking that I need to get from somewhere else. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just a whole waste of a marriage if it's going to be open and someone is going to get hurt in the process. I just don't believe in a true open marriage where you do have a relationship between the two of you, a romantic relationship, that everybody's going to be okay with that all the time.
So what do you guys think? The audience, I want to ask the audience. So if you want to join us live, you can jump on here and talk to us live, you guys. Go ahead. The link is in the comments and go ahead and jump on here live so we can have a conversation about it. Or like my sister April Sampay says, a conversation about it. So, hey, what do you think? You said no. I seen you, but why? It's just sex.
You know, it's funny that you said, yeah, it's just sex, right? But for some reason, I'm just listen. I'm having a hard time believing that we are like agreeing with certain things. But I'll say this: for me, no, I can't do it because I can be jealous, and I already know that that's something that I can get jealous, and I don't want to tempt myself to get jealous, if that makes any sense.
I don't want a position to feel a way that you don't. Yeah.
Right. And my husband and I had that conversation up front. Like if there's ever a time that we feel that we need to cheat, we need to really sit down and have that conversation. Either we need to have a separation period or whatever the case is. Now, am I open to if you and your husband are separated? Honey, just do what you have to do because that could potentially bring you back together. That's just my opinion.
Now we disagree, April. We're back to where we're supposed to be.
Because actually a girlfriend had inboxed me one day and she said, what do you think? And I'd like to ask, on your show, what do you think about people being separated and then, going out and being with other people? Is that okay? You're saying, okay, we got a differing opinion. Why is it not okay, Stay? They're separated. So if they're separate, that means they're going their separate ways.
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of separation either, but I mean, I understand that sometimes you need that cooling off period. To me, separation should be more about getting in touch with yourself and your feelings and what you really want in life. And sometimes it can be a distraction if you're still staying in the same home or whatever. So I get that. But if we're going to separate and entertain other relationships, we're not really on an equal playing field, because what if we separate and you entertain other relationships, so you decide that's who you want, but I'm not finding anybody, so I want to get, it just adds a whole, if you're separating, that means you're already having issues. So why separate and then bring more issues into it? And people always say, well, whatever you do while we're separated, we're not going to discuss it. But you're going to have that feeling. And so now whatever it is you separated to solve, you got a whole new can of worms to address.
Well, see, and that's, I think, where we're looking at it from a different set of eyes. You're saying separate to kind of bring the marriage back together. Most of the time when people do separate, they're typically separating so that they can completely end the relationship. So I guess it depends on what state you're in, because I know that in the DMV, you had to, I think it's a year that you have to be separated. So that's number one. Number two, I also understand being separated to try to work on your marriage or work on where you are, where you're trying to get to. But I think that if you separate, it's like gloves off.
Right. And that I do agree with you, because when I was divorced, I did get divorced in Virginia, and there was that mandatory 1-year separation. But at that point, it was only because of the legality of it. But we already knew we were done.
And so that's what I mean.
Absolutely. But that separating, that I just don't know what I want to do, we're having a lot of problems, then I'm like, no, you don't do that.
Well, let's take it one step further.
Okay.
So right now, in this day and age, I've recently been hearing a lot about people getting into relationships with other couples. So it's like one single person jumping in a relationship with a couple because they can't find anybody.
That whole polyamorous lifestyle or whatever.
Right. And so, but it's only because it's like, okay, well, she can't find anybody else. I don't want to have to handle all my wifely duties. Come on, just go ahead and handle it.
That's why they do that. They do it because they can't find nobody else.
I don't know what would be in it for the women. Like, I have just recently, and I hate
polyamorous and have 3 men. Yeah, let's do it.
But
I mean, what is it?
Huh?
Do y'all watch that Seeking Sister Wives?
You said what?
Do y'all watch that Seeking Sister Wives show? Have you ever seen that? It is so completely ridiculous. I mean, it's just these men who, what man wouldn't want 3 or 4 women? But the women, I don't understand. They'll say, well, I just love the sisterhood. Well, I have an awesome sisterhood, but nobody's sleeping with my husband.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, what I've been hearing is a friend of mine was telling me about it. And then I started asking other people, like, would you be willing to do? Like my single friend, most of my single friends are like, you've lost your mind. But I have had a few that were just like, I mean, I'd be open to it. But anyway,
they'd be open to sharing one man?
Yes.
Oh.
There's one couple on there, the woman that they're entertaining to be their sister wife lives in Brazil or whatever. And so she can't legally come into the country unless she's legally married to him. So the first wife, the original wife, has divorced her husband so that he can marry this other woman to bring her into the country. Like, what kind of tomfoolery is that?
It is absolutely insane. So when you're talking about open marriages, like is like a threesome, would that be considered an open marriage?
In my book, it would be.
Okay, so you bring in one person in, so to do both of you guys, and then if you have somebody on the side, they have somebody on the side, that's an open marriage as well.
Yes, absolutely.
But I guess the point of it all is the honesty, right? Because like somebody said, the issue is people don't want to be honest. And some people may even be willing to accept an open situation if there was honesty, right? I mean, how many people would want to stay in a marriage if their spouse was honest? I know we talked about on our show one day, somebody said Black women would rather be the one than act like they're the one or something like that. And basically the whole concept is white women, they don't care if they're the only one or not. They just care that they're being taken care of at home. Black women want to be the only one, period, point blank, right? And so they would rather mess up their whole situation if it's good or whatever, so they could be the one instead of, you might be the one or acting like they the one. And the man's doing whatever you want to do as long as he's bringing the bacon home and as long as he's taking care of the household. What do you think about that?
Well, I agree. I can definitely see that because a lot of times with our sisters of a lighter hue, their priorities and what they're looking for in a marriage is oftentimes a lot different. They're just looking for that stability. They want to have a bunch of kids. They don't want to go to work. And again, I'm not speaking to everyone. It's just a general statement. But I think that what they're looking for is different, and they don't have the same story as us. We are looking for and craving that stability, that respect, that knowing that we're wanted. And so we're not wanting to deal with that, or we're not able to just say, I don't care, because we've been walked over for so long. Then I'm definitely not going to get in a relationship and say, oh, I don't care what you do as long as you pay the bills, because we have become the type of woman where I can pay the bills on my own. So what I need you to do is be respectful of me and to cherish and love me enough to not put me through that.
So let me ask you a question. Oh, go ahead, April.
I disagree.
Go ahead.
Yes. And I'm going to say it because of this. Please don't act like we all do not have family situations where somebody's cousin is really their brother or sister, or somebody's niece is really their, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
secrets.
But we say they're secrets, but the parents know, you know what I'm saying? Please don't act like we don't have mothers that have, and let me make this very clear. This is not my mama. My mama will slap me upside my head. But let's not act like some of our mothers don't have babies that look like the milkman, or in this day and age, the cable guy.
Oh my gosh. Right. Which is true. But what I'm saying is, as far as being in a relationship and saying up front, it doesn't matter as long as you're taking care of the home. I mean, because I have seen where he can sleep with whoever. And I just don't feel like that's the case in our culture. If it happens,
that's not true. That's not true.
No,
Let me say something. There is a long history of that certainly happening in our culture. You know, you could look at grandmama and them, my dear, big mama, all of them. This is not brand new, you guys. My mama in there, so I can't talk about her mama. But trust, it's about 3 or 4 daddies that wasn't married to her, that was married to somebody else. So it's not a big, I mean, it's been happening for years and years and years. You guys may have come from a very moral family, but I came from a long line of heathens. So I've seen that firsthand in my bloodline.
See, and that has not been my experience. And I have heard of that, and I know it happens. And that's the thing. My experience, as far as what I know, is not that at all. And so to me, it's like, that's not what you do. But even the ones where, the word is out and it's a secret, it's still, again, it was a secret. It wasn't anything that anybody was supposed to talk about and say, that's okay to do.
I got uncles that don't look like nobody. Look, I got uncles that don't look like nobody. Like who?
But my point is, it's a secret, but to whom? It was a secret to you. It was a secret to like outside family members. But I promise you, mama and daddy knew that either that was not their child, that wasn't the father's baby, or that whatever. You know what I mean?
Why do you think they stuck it out and were able? Because, in this day and age, if that's happening and it's not an agreement, then most of the time couples are splitting. So what do you think was different back in the day that just allowed them, like, okay, we know this is what's going on, but we still staying together and this is our family?
They needed each other. They was poor.
See, but you're looking at it from a financial standpoint. I'm looking at it from something a little different. They wanted to keep the father in the household. Like, I look at it. I look at where we are today, and there's so many broken families because somebody said, well, you know what? I can't do this. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Can I be that person? I don't think I have that strength. But back in the day, I believe that they had that strength, not necessarily strictly for finances, but because they wanted to keep a mother and a father figure in the household to take care of that family. So it really was a unit taking care of a family, whereas now everything is broken. We're not looking at how, like, if you notice, I keep seeing like the father figure being pushed out. Why is that? Why are we doing more to keep the father figure in the household, whether he cheated or not? And I'm not saying in the house, I'm saying in the child's life. You have so many situations where it'll be a situation where they say, well, you can't see your dad because of what he did to me. But
Right.
you do that to the child.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see if it's a domestic violence situation.
With that. Yeah, I definitely believe that there's no reason, there's no benefit, no good will come out of dictating a parent-child relationship based on the parents' relationship. And again, me being someone who had children and was married before, and my relationship ended because he had another relationship with someone else. I had no desire to ever have a relationship or talk to him again. But it was the total opposite for my boys. That's your dad. You talk to your dad. He can see him whenever he wants, because just because you're a poor husband doesn't mean that you're a poor father. And some people will argue the fact, well, if he did this and that, what kind of example is he setting? However, none of us are perfect. So there are certain habits and things that I do that I don't want my boys to do. So if their dad cheated or whatever, yeah, I don't want you to do that. But as far as a father, the good far outweighs the bad. And so we do our children a disservice when we dictate that relationship based on our emotions.
Let me ask you this. Is cheating a deal breaker for you in a marriage? Like, so the first time that you found out that your spouse was cheating, would it be OVER for you?
Well, that it was for me. The first time I found out that my spouse was cheating, we were divorced as soon as divorce could happen. I filed within 2 weeks and we were divorced within whatever the time period was. So for me, being that was my truth and I lived it, I have to say yes. I mean, I thought about it maybe for 2 or 3 days. Mm-hmm. Can we work this out? Can we talk about it? And I knew I was just going to be setting myself up for a life full of being not content with the situation, never being able to forget it. And I needed freedom and peace. So yeah, within 2 weeks, I filed for divorce.
What about you, A?
In my head right now, I'm saying yes, but in real life, I can't answer that question. And I say that because I know like how much I care about my husband, and I know the ups and downs that we've gone through. So in my head, I'd be like, you done lost your mind. And I'll be like, what's that lady on Waiting to Exhale? I'm going to put everything in your car and I'm setting everything on fire just because that's the right thing to do. But that's
I said, and sell everything for $1.
And that's all I'm saying. But in my head, that makes sense. But in real life, we all know that we've had situations where we're like, I would never. And then it happens. You're like, okay, let me see how I can work it out. Or let me see the part that I played in this. Now, I also don't have children. I feel that if we would have children, I probably would be a little more lax in that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we had 3. And I think for me, the reason why it was an immediate decision to leave is because I didn't like the way what he did made me feel about who I was turning out to be. And I didn't like my response to it. And I knew that how am I ever going to trust you again? So to me, even though we had been together for 12 years, in that moment, and when I say moment, and one day I'll share my story with y'all, but I found out he was cheating like all in one moment. And in that moment of finding everything out, it was like, I felt like I didn't even know who he was anymore. And so, and I didn't want to learn who this person was. And we had what you would call a perfect marriage. So I thought up until that moment. So all of that devastation coming to me all at once, I just felt like I was in the twilight zone and I did not want to deal with that anymore.
That's crazy. I'll say for me, first time, maybe, if we got kids and everything, I could, maybe the first time I might forgive you. But after that, it's like, dude, really? I can't keep doing that. We have a guest that wants to say something. This is Miss Cindy. Hey, Cindy.
Hey.
People.
Hi.
So, Cindy, what do you got to say about it?
I just, I don't think that's cheating always is a deal breaker because I just feel like you can do so many more things that's way worse than cheating. And I used to think that cheating was the worst thing that you can do. But as I got older, cheating is not the worst thing that you can do. There's so many other things. So I just feel like with communication, we may be able to get past it. But of course, if you do it multiple times, then I'm done.
Yeah, what if you're a serial cheater?
Right. If you're a serial cheater, then you have a serious problem. But if it's just a one-time thing, I just don't feel like that's a deal breaker.
So Carnival asks, would you rather share a high-value alpha? Come on, Kevin Samuels. Would you rather share a high-value alpha or be saddled with a faithful beta?
What does that even mean?
Okay. Would you like to share your man with a
I'll tell you what. I'd rather be with a faithful beta. Bye, Mom. I'd rather be with a faithful beta than a high-valued alpha. Alpha. What you need an alpha for that's not going to be faithful to you, is not going to be committed to you.
Exactly. And why do you have to not be faithful just because you're an alpha? Like that goes hand in hand. I don't get it.
And why do you always need an alpha?
You don't.
I'm just saying that's another thing. Again, we talked about this last time that there are so many women that kind of discount like a certain man because he doesn't drive this, or he's too short, or he's too this, or he doesn't have a whatever. It's like whatever for all the things he doesn't have versus all the things that he does. So I think it's more of like, how can we help build him up, and then we can help create that alpha male. You know what I mean? Versus
exactly. See, people are so caught up in these labels, and that's kind of like the thing now, right? I want high value, all that crap. I don't know high value nothing because I'm high value enough by myself. I just need a faithful man that's going to take care of business, going to take care of himself, that's going to take care of me, who's going to have good credit, who's going to take care of these kids. That's all I want. I don't need.
Like, what was that Ralph Tresvant song? You need to stand.
Yeah.
Sensitivity.
Yeah. But you don't have to have this certain type of guy. Now let's bring on Chill. Chill is coming on. Chill, what you got to say about the conversation? What you got to add to it, brother?
You always put me on the spot. I just be in here listening, being nosy.
Well, come on, what you got? I know you got something to bring.
Well, I just jumped in, so I'm kind of behind. But you know me, I'll tell you in a minute. If you cheat once, you'll cheat again.
Uh-huh.
If you accept it once, you'll accept it again. And, you know, I don't knock either one of them because, and that goes for men and women. So it really doesn't matter. You know,
so you're basically saying once a cheater, always a cheater.
I'm saying once you cheat, yes. You're
so
always,
nobody
but that doesn't mean you'll continue to cheat.
Oh, it doesn't mean you'll continue to cheat.
No, if you cheat once, you're a cheater. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to continue to cheat.
So let me ask you this. As a man, do you think that all men have cheated?
No. All nothing has done nothing. All women haven't been faithful, and all men have cheated.
I would say all men have cheated in their life, but they may not cheat on you, but they have all cheated at some point in their life.
And I can say the same thing for women.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But like for me, in my situation, it was kind of in my mind, once a cheater, always a cheater, because even if you never cheat, now you have planted that seed. So I'm always going to be looking for the signs of you cheating. And I just did not want to live like that. Like every time you 20 minutes late, every time you on your phone too long. And that was just not the type of woman I wanted to be. And I already could see it. I already knew that this is going to turn me into the woman checking your cell phone records, trying to figure out this and that. And I just didn't want that. And so that was the thing. Since you've done it once, there was no way for me to be confident to know you wouldn't do it again. Because guess what? I didn't think he was going to do it the first time.
Right.
So Stay can be in a relationship. Stay could not be in an open relationship.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Could you be in an open relationship?
Me?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yes, most definitely.
So you can have your woman out doing other things as well, and you know it.
But see, that would be you're going to have a long conversation. You're going to have to set up the rules. You're going to have to explain how things are going to go down. There's not going to be no hooking up without me knowing about it. If I say no, then it doesn't happen. If you say no, then it doesn't happen. I mean, there's so many things that can go to where that can actually work, and it does work. And I think that we put too much on the silly stuff, because if I think you're not attracted to anybody else in life, then I'd be fooling myself.
It's not about being attracted, though. It's about self-control.
No,
Exactly.
but there are certain things. What's wrong with going out and having sex?
If you're committed to one person,
It's nothing wrong with going out and having sex. It's more of because women. So I'm going to put this in women, right?
it's over dinner.
We connect, right?
Right.
We create these connections, and so when we have a sexual connection with someone, oftentimes, it's not every time, because trust me, we've already had this conversation.
Right.
But oftentimes, we develop more of an intimate connection with that person, where sometimes, men can just say, well, this is just a piece of ass.
True.
I mean, so I would say it's somebody said sex discipline is important. When it's a situation where you're having just multiple partners or whatever the case is, or cheating or whatever, you have to have a lot of discipline in order to do that. It takes a lot. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, can all of you hit that like and share and subscribe button? Stop faking. All of your friends need to be talking about this. Everybody needs to hear about this. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, stop faking. And we're back. Sorry.
And we're back. Thank you, Miss April. So me, I can't compartmentalize that. Like I don't think that I could just go out and just be buck wild free and just be,
Well,
emotionally attached in some way.
it definitely has to be controlled. You can't just be walking out and say, "Oh, he has nice shoes on," and jump into bed with him, or "Oh, he has a nice car." There has to be some form of connection.
But what constitutes? Because a lot of people are casual. What do you think, Cindy?
Casual is fine, but you still got to have some form of other connection besides the shoe.
But who has the bandwidth to be nurturing all these relationships?
They're not necessarily they're not
going out.
Now, hold on.
Baby, they're not nurturing relationships. It's just
so that's what I mean. So you're specifically just going out looking for other people to bang, then, and that's just crazy to me.
Who would do that?
In the streets.
Oh, please. Now, don't act like you who would do that. Go sit down somewhere in a corner by yourself.
Because if we're not nurturing these relationships and we're in an open marriage or relationship, but we're not nurturing the other relationships, then the only thing left is just banging. And who has the bandwidth for that even? Like, dang.
But that brings it back to the alpha. When you look at it from that perspective, so many people believe the alpha male is that guy who has the money, the car, the everything else. So he's in a relationship with somebody that does not care what he's doing as long as her credit card can still be used on a consistent basis and the bill is paid on a consistent basis.
So that's prostitution.
You can call it whatever you want to. I'm just telling you
or a business deal.
Or a business. And you know
that's the whole alpha male thing gets me too, because I consider my husband to be an alpha male simply because he is truly the head of my household. He takes care of everything here. He is the decision maker. He's the breadwinner. He keeps me all the way together. I trust his judgment. And so to me, that's an alpha male. And so now I guess in order for him to really have the title of alpha male, he got to be banging some other chick. Like
that's why I put quotations when I said it. So the alpha male, what the stereotype is. We're talking about a stereotype, really, when we do this. You're talking about what's that movie? 50 Shades of Grey. You're talking about gray. You know what I mean? You're not talking about the everyday average man. The everyday average man, you can have who is an alpha male, who's not driving a big fancy car, who doesn't make millions upon millions of dollars, but they're taking care of everything that they need to take care of. But I'm saying in general, so those people, you have situations where all they care about is how much money are you giving me? What are you giving me? And just like he was saying, it's a business deal. So they have situations where a man is like, listen, I'm gonna put you up in a house. I'm gonna pay this bill. I'm gonna make sure you have food in your belly. And all you have to do is give me sex when I ask for it, and make sure you always look good on my arm. So don't gain weight. Make sure everything is, if I need to send you to get a nip tuck, make sure it happens. Like, let's just be real here.
But that's not love.
I agree.
It's not love, but it's definitely very common nowadays.
But so let me ask y'all this. Don't you guys want love, like to be in love? Is there such thing as being in love with somebody, like truly in love, where your heart goes pitter patter and you get butterflies? And is there truly in love where?
Yes, I still get butterflies now after 8 years, and he's not home, and we're hardly constant. When you see me, you see Wallace. Well, he went to an event today. I couldn't go because I was committed to be here with y'all, but I can't wait to hear that garage door open. Like, that's how I feel right now. Like, it's like, oh my gosh. And as soon as I hear the garage door open, I'm excited. And if I wouldn't be on with y'all, I'm like Edith Bunker running to the door like, hey, Archie. Like, yeah, I mean, I am definitely in love.
I'm the same way. And I think it's so funny because I would have never seen myself being this way 5 years ago. Ever.
Is there a difference?
I also realized that regardless of what happened with my other marriage and what my ex-husband did, and I do see the role I played in it, I just feel like he should have been man enough and mature enough to come to me without starting an extramarital affair. However, I do see that I was not at all the wife to him that I am to my current husband, and my feelings about him were not the same, because it was those little simple things you see on Facebook. Should you make your man's plate and all that? I was that girl like, no, I ain't making nobody's plate. I'm not. Now my husband come home, them pots is banging, water's boiling, but that's what he brings out in me. It's nothing that. And so I do realize I was not equally yoked before and had never truly been in love, because there are times when I still look at myself like, hey, sis, who are you? You know, but it's about when you are equally yoked. And I think that's when the things of open marriage or whatever, I don't see how that would even come up in a relationship where you are truly with your soulmate.
Well, based on what you just said, let me ask you this. Do you think by you not making the plates and you not being this affectionate towards your first caused him to do what he did?
Well, I won't say caused him, because again, we're grown. He could have had a conversation with me. He still, to me, took the bitch ass, if I can say that, move and just did something different, because the thing was, he didn't even want to get a divorce when he did that. See, in that relationship, I was the alpha. I was handling everything. He felt like he was not being treated as a man, and I can take accountability for that now, but he was also comfortable with it, but he just wanted that affection and attention. But when everything went down, he still wanted to stay with me. Why? Because I was keeping everything together, but I was looking for it.
You know, it's funny. I had that same situation. Now, we didn't cheat on me, at least as far as I know. Let me not be stupid. But what had happened was, we were staying in his little small apartment. This is when I was homeless. I ended up moving in with him and stayed with him for a while. And I never saw him like talk on the phone, never saw him like engage with other females. I wouldn't have had an issue with it if he would have shown me that side of him. And the day that we were supposed to move into our apartment, when I had a job, I was back on my feet, I was good. The day before we were supposed to sign our lease, I saw his phone go off and he like snatched it. So I go, what was that? What was that all about? He was like, oh, nothing.
God, look at God helping you before you moved in.
No, we still moved in together, but I turned into exactly that person that you were talking about, where I started checking his phones and looking at everything. Child, I'm like, this is not me. I don't like her. Yeah. But what had happened was, he lied and said it was a butt text.
A butt text, not a butt dial, but a butt text.
A butt text where you were responding to somebody, with somebody asking you. That's not right. Look, how is it that butt text was able to properly articulate a question and a response? Look at God. God be on some butt text. That's amazing.
This butt text.
Once he told you it was a butt text, did you even respond back after that?
Oh no! See, I'm that one. I said let's give her a call right now to see what she's talking about, because I want to hear the conversation. Ended up being a friend, and she really was a friend. I listened to the conversation, and I was like, if you even like make it seem like this is a fake call, I want you to call and say, what are you talking about? And she was like, hello, we were just talking about blah 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 blah. And he goes, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so she kept talking like they were best friends. It wasn't anything sexual. I let it go. But what it did do is it made me insecure. Now, my husband has always had female friends. I've talked to them. One of his best friends is a woman, and she is a very close friend of mine to this day. I don't have a problem because he let me know up front. These are my friends. They're female. I have male friends. I'm not sleeping with any of them. Dear God, that would make me throw up. The fact of the matter is, we were up front. We were communicating, whereas my ex and I did not have any type of communication at all within our relationship. Yeah. So I say all that to say, there was somebody who said it in the comments, the communication is really key.
That's number one.
If you're letting me know, okay, well, I do have friends that are female. You can talk to them. You can be around them. Here's the password to my phone. I have the password to his. He has the password to mine.
Do the same thing.
And I'm not going looking for anything. I don't have to sneak and look through his phone. because I'm that comfortable and I there's that much trust. I think that the biggest problem also is that we're constantly losing trust. And now I'm not talking about my husband and I. I'm talking about us as a people. And it's like, how do we build that trust? How do we learn how to trust? In the beginning, we're always taught, don't trust nobody. Don't talk to anybody. And that carries over in relationships. And relationships become toxic because people don't know how to trust. People don't know how to communicate.
Would you be in an open relationship?
Oh, that was a pause, child. That was a long.
Straight put her on the spot.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
What would make it okay for you to do that?
So if we both thought it was a mutual thing and that's what we wanted to do, then.
So you okay with, you would be, if you decided this is, so you're not against it at all. So if you found somebody who was like, you know what, I'd like to have some dudes on the side. He's like, I like to have some females on the side.
I'd be okay.
Possibility?
With that. Possibility.
Pimp shit. Okay. What about bringing somebody into the thing in?
Yeah, I'm not down with that.
Okay.
Wait, what was that question?
Bringing them into the bedroom, the threesome?
Mm-mm.
No, you ain't doing that one. But you'd have your stuff on the side.
Possibly.
Okay. And he could have his stuff on the side and it wouldn't make you jealous at all?
Because, I mean, it's not like if we're in an open relationship, I'm not going to come home and tell you what I did today. Like, we're not going to talk about that part of our lives.
Who you did today?
Who I did. Right.
Right.
But what happens in these?
We wouldn't talk about that part.
But you would would you do it with your husband? So if you married somebody, I'm
Yeah,
not talking about your boyfriend, right?
Maybe not. Maybe not a marriage.
Maybe not a marriage.
But
If-
definitely a boyfriend.
In these open relationships where children are a result of this openness, and now we have these men or even women, having babies by people outside of the relationship. Like, to me, that's when everything just gets so muddy and difficult, because now it's not us just deciding that we want to see other people. Now we're involving an innocent child in this whole mix. And no matter how careful any of us can be, like, I know one of my good friends who got pregnant after having her tubes tied. So there's no such thing as 100% protection. And I know there's been situations where that happens. And to me, that's the kind of stuff where, how is that even worth it? Because now it's the whole, you have this child, and now no longer is just this your side piece. This is now your baby's mother. You know what I mean?
I'm with Dion. He said, why call it a relationship? Like, why even call it a relationship? Because, at some point, I think that even if it's consensual, at some point, somebody gonna get tired of this.
Yes.
Somebody gonna get tired of this shit.
And even if it's one of the side pieces, somebody
gonna get tired of this situation.
Yes, that's the people kill people over stuff like that, because you might be good being the side chick for a minute, but then you have all these thoughts of grandeur, and now you want this to be your man, and you got this whole fatal attraction.
Let me explain something to you. When I was in my 20s, my cousin, she had some cousins, and they used to all they were out have partying, doing cocaine, right? They're like, it's fun, do it with us. And I was like, girl, you finna go over there and do that cocaine with them? Y'all crazy. It's fun. Now they're crackheads, right? So same with open relationships. It's fun. Somebody's gonna die at some point, because somebody gonna get mad, somebody gonna get jealous, somebody gonna get hurt, angry, whatever. It gets old. I don't know how long that can sustain for a real relationship, Chill. I don't even know.
You got to remember that there is a whole thing out there called the lifestyle. There are groups, hundreds and thousands of people that travel around the United States and the world just to hook up on conventions and do these type of things.
True.
So, you can look at the bads of everything, but there are people that live their life solely like that, and they're completely happy and content with it.
Oh, like swingers and stuff, huh? That's
Right,
true.
but I just feel like, then why call it, like one of the comments said, why call it a relationship or
Right.
marriage? Why not just say, I'm down for whatever?
Maybe they're just spicing up their situation. Maybe they just spicing it.
Well, I was gonna say it's not true that people can't continue on in a relationship for a long period of time. Let's really just stop and think. Miss Wendy Williams, okay? She knew
Mr.
whatever.
Oh, you sound like my husband. Quit doing that to that woman.
Well, I mean, there are pictures of her actually being pregnant, but I'm gonna go with who's one. So with Wendy Williams, she was in a relationship with this man who had other full-blown relationships with other women. And then the last one lasted, what, 15 years or 10 years? They were together for like 10 years before she got pregnant. And I heard that she had been trying to get pregnant for the longest time. So you think about this woman, the only reason they got a divorce is because old girl got pregnant. Wendy would have been like, yo, I'm sticking with you because that's not a deal breaker for me. You are going out every day and I'm staying in the house. I mean, listen, so to each his own, do you?
Look, I agree with Saja. She said, aren't people establishing emotional ties with others outside of their marriage in these open relationships? See, that's my issue, right? I'm scared. I'm afraid of these emotional ties that come along with all of this sexual activity. Like you gonna hit this, you gonna hit that, and then now you got all these ties and this energy. And I don't know, I just believe in energy and like soul ties. And look, she's looking at me like, girl, bye. If you don't FWF and get up out of here, I don't know how to FWF. So I'm just trying to figure this whole, I'm trying to navigate it.
So you mean to tell me you guys never did the girl trip?
I haven't.
And whatever happens on the girl trip stays on the girl trip?
Look at this one here, granted. She's granted. Huh?
No, y'all know I be behind on pop culture or whatever that is. So I just started watching the Atlanta Housewives and I saw that ratchet behind bachelorette party. My girls and I would never, ever like that was some foolish ratchetness. I mean, in my opinion,
I was married really young. I was 22 when I got married. I didn't get out there to do all of that, experiencing, I was married and faithful and raising a family and all that stuff. And so,
now it's your opportunity.
Shit, now it's hot girl summer like a mother.
Look, so you got the one friend over there saying now it's your opportunity, and I'm constantly like, Constance, no.
Soul ties are real.
No, my best friend's what is it? Her bridal shower party, whatever those things are that you're supposed to have, the party thing.
The bachelorette.
That thing. Oh my God, it was epic. Okay, so it was so epic. It was epic, and I'll say no more. But
take it to the grave.
It was.
I guess I just don't understand either. And again, I think it's about being with your soulmate, being equally yoked. Because in my mind, I'm also thinking, how much sex do you need? How many sexual partners? But again, if you're with your soulmate, all of that is going to align as well, in my opinion. So the sex is going to be great. The conversation is going to be great. And I think the mistake a lot of us made, which I made the first time, so I'm talking to me too, is we rush into things just based on what it looks like we want. And we don't wait for that person that was divinely made for us. And that's why we're interested in having sex outside and all that. But like now I couldn't even imagine. And not to say that I can't look at another man and realize he's an attractive man, but really it's no different than me being able to look at a woman and saying she's a beautiful woman. But as far as wanting to sleep with him, anything like that, I don't, because I'm not lacking in those areas, whereas before I was. And so I just noticed a definite difference in when you're with who you were meant to be with.
So you don't feel like your first husband was your soulmate? Did you feel like he was your soulmate when you married him?
No, I didn't. But my mindset was way different too. I mean, that was more of an arrangement. We had a lot in common. I felt like he would be a good dad. And he let me be me. Like I was the alpha. I wanted to control everything. I didn't want anybody telling me what to do. I was on my career path and he was just kind of a whatever you like type of husband. And that's what I thought I wanted at the time, because I was raised to where, yes, you take care of everything. You don't let a man tell you anything. And so he fit the bill on that. But as far as an emotional connection, soul ties, whatever, it wasn't there. But I wasn't even interested, because also back in my 20s, being in love and whatever was whack. It's like, no, I'm on my career path. I'm not worried about being in love, whatever. I just need this man to have my kids with and do what I need him to do while I'm doing what I want to do. And that was it.
Can I tell you on my issue? I mean,
that?
this is serious. I need gather around, children. My issue is that not enough of you all are liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'm just saying, like, we got all this going on. This conversation is lit, and nobody. What's going on with you all's mind? Like, when we talk about this, like, where the likes, where the shares, and where the subscriptions? Like, come on now.
Right. We don't want an open relationship. We only want y'all sitting and listening with us.
Hey, listen, if you want to be part of the broadcast, Charles is going to drop the link in the comments box. Come and join us and talk to us too, because we want to know what you think. Would you be, so I want to know if there's somebody on here who has been in an open relationship, who would be in an open relationship. I want to get somebody else's opinion. Shield said he would. He said if there was an arrangement that was set up, he would totally go for it. Cindy said she would. She said, hey, you know what? I'm open to it. She told me, we just came from dinner. She told me that she'd been in a 10-year relationship, a 17-year relationship. So, I mean, it might be something like, I want to do something different.
She said now she want a 2-day relationship.
Yeah, it's all your preference, right?
Not two.
I've been married since I was 2 years old. And so I'm in the process of not being. And so, my situation is like, okay, now the world is opened up. Now what's next? What's out there? So I'm just
everything.
She said everything.
Right, and a lot of this stuff, I feel like, do you when you're single, but it's a whole different ball game once you get married. I mean, I'm kind of prudish as a single woman too. Was talked about when I was growing up, except for don't do it, and so I can be a little prudish, but as I get older and I see other people in the way they're living in their 20s and 30s and single, it's like, dang, it would have been cool to have a little bit of that lifestyle, but it's a whole different ballgame once you get married. So my thing is, as long as that's something that you're interested in, then just go.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably totally, I would probably not get married again, probably ever.
Yes, you will.
Now,
I said the same thing, Constance. I said the same thing, which is fine, because to me, the fact that I didn't have the mindset of I want to get married again is how I ended up with the man I'm with.
I just have a nice rotation. I just have a nice rotation for every day of the week, and just run it like that. You know what I mean?
You are not.
That's what it's gonna be. Nice rotation.
All right.
I already told my daughter, listen, we getting her a little car. I'm about to be out there living my best life. And I told her, when I come out there, we're gonna have a code. So I'm gonna text you if you can come home or not. Okay. She's like, Mom, this is not you. I was like, hey, this is
talking smack. I'm like,
y'all, it is my seat.
Right.
Good. I hope you enjoy yourself the whole time. Every time.
Yeah.
Call me for advice.
No, do not call. Sheila's like, it's just, but how is it? I don't understand how people could have these open things where they're so active with so many people and there's not any kind of tie. That just, for
one, it's not as many people as you think.
I was just about to say that. It ain't like 100 people.
But sometimes you can be somebody's beard. Sometimes people are just looking at it from a benefit standpoint. Sometimes people, you just don't know what people's situation is, which is why I say, communication is key. And there were a lot of people who were saying, as long as you communicate it, like, don't have me surprised. Please don't. Don't let me be a situation.
Let's bring John B up here, because I think John wants to talk to us. What John, what you got to contribute to the conversation? What's up? Cousin Dro said, Mom gotta have a lot. You know what I'm saying, boo? Cousin Dro, that's what's up. John B, we can't hear you, bro. Fitness information. You gotta. Oh, fitness information said polygamy keeps marriages going and prevents divorces.
No.
Uh-oh. Well, he's on punishment. No, I'm joking.
I mean, I guess for some, but no, that's cheating. Right, that's that whole security thing. I can do what I want to do as long as I'm taking care of home, and that's not how that goes.
No, but they're also the spouse that accepts it. So I'm not going to put it all on the cheater. I'm really not going to, because there are a lot of times where the wife or the husband will know this is going on and not say anything because they say, you know what, I just want to be comfortable where I am. I don't want to have to work, or I don't want to have to do anything extra. I'm good. I'm just going to let you keep living your best life, and I'm good.
Somebody said open relationships is better than domestic violence. If I don't cheat on you, I'm going to beat on you. Okay? If I don't cheat on you, I'm going to beat on you.
I think there's a lot of options in between. Like
I was thinking, and then Disco said polygamy is illegal, by the way. Public service announcement. I just want to let y'all know polygamy is illegal.
Is it in Utah?
Not in Utah, but in other states it is.
Right, because that's why that one little sister wife family ran out of some state. Yeah, it is illegal. But the thing is, with them, I think the only time that it's illegal, and I may not be correct in this, is when you are legally trying to be married to each person. But if you're married and you just got 3 other chicks living in the house, I don't see how that's illegal unless you're considered a brothel.
But that's what they're saying polygamy is, where everybody is married, though, correct?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. There are people who try to actually legally.
Why legalize getting married? Why don't y'all just live together and act like y'all married? Like they
want the benefits.
Right.
The benefits of multiple people.
Because it's illegal, they're only legally married to one.
That's crazy.
It's when a partner sleeps with another behind other partner's back. You're right. So there is a clear distinction, and I want to make sure that we're clear. And because we are talking about open relationships, it does not mean it doesn't mean that you're cheating. But however, if you have an open relationship, then that means that everybody's consenting. Chill said, as long as there's an arrangement, I'm good. We could, as long as it's kind of mapped out how we gonna do it and everybody's in agreement and all that stuff, we're good with it. So, I don't, for me personally, I don't see it, but I like to see, people who are listening. We've got a lot of folks on here listening. Is there anybody that's listening that would be willing to be in an open relationship?
A lot of people aren't going to be honest because they don't want to be judged.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, some people think it's really cool.
Yeah, but they think it's cool, but they don't put their business out there because of the judgment of other people that don't believe in it and that don't do it.
That's true. In fact, I knew somebody who was married when right out of high school she was married. And she, I don't know if her husband was cheating, the way she made it seem like he was cheating on her. And she was just like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything. Whatever he does and what he does, I will never divorce him because I don't want my family to ever look at me sideways.
See, one of the things that I learned is that, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And you try to stay together for the wrong reasons. It might be for the kids or whatever. And then it turns out once you leave the situation, the kids are actually better off once you left. And then you find yourself looking back over your life and like, I wasted a lot of time trying to protect them and I actually hurt them, I harmed them. So I would recommend for anybody, like if you're considering, you need to really look at your kids and ask them. Don't just assume that, they want y'all to be together because they might be seeing you in pain. And they may not want to say anything to you. So I would assess that. I would never say in a situation where just because of the kids.
Oh yeah, my parents should have been divorced probably before I was born, but definitely should. But then they ended up divorcing when I was 27. Wow. And at that point, I was like, no, y'all need to stay together.
Right. Go and thug the rest of these years out. Right.
Real. But yeah, but I remember those feelings and, it was just so much better when I had my parents separately because I still had my parents. So it didn't matter to me about them being together. But, they stayed together for the kids. And my sister and I both were like, no, we were good. Y'all could have. And again, it was almost like a slap in the face at 27. We're going to get divorced. Oh, no.
It's too late now. Let me ask you a question. Stay, you are working on some things right now. I want to kind of just showcase some of the things that you're working on.
I am a life coach, certified soft skills trainer, motivational speaker, and author. I am Stay Hall. I help people elevate their leadership skills and boost their emotional intelligence, all the while giving them the resources and tools they need to reach the level of success they desire and deserve. And as a result of working with me, my clients are able to achieve their goals and operate at their highest self and live their best life.
Is that what makes you an expert in talking about relationships and being married? What makes you an expert? What is it that you do?
Well, I am a certified soft skills trainer and life coach. And so I have done a lot of research on just emotional intelligence and how we communicate with one another. Because what I think all can agree is that the key factor in any relationship, no matter who it's with, whether it's a friend, a parent, or your spouse, is communication. And that is what I'm an expert on, teaching people how to have those crucial conversations, teaching them how to effectively communicate and how to actively listen, because that is the thing. Even if someone is a good communicator as far as expressing how they feel, most people are missing the mark on how to be a good and active listener.
One of the things that I love about you, April, is that like your thing about relationships is really trying to help people live holistically and live in their truth with how they eat, their health, their wealth. When you talk about projects that you're working on, Veg Out and Dine comes to my mind. So I want to show them and introduce them to some that haven't seen what your show looks like, the pilot. Oh, it's going to be absolutely amazing. You guys just wait for it. So listen, whether you're in an open marriage, whether you are in a committed relationship, you need these two ladies in your life because they can help you with your soft skills, with your EQ. They can help you get your life right, your body right, your health right, and your wealth right. And I can also help you as well. See, I'm having a retreat out in Costa Rica next year, and we were going to do it this year, but then COVID happened. But I got this dope ass mansion that we're going to have the retreat at. It is going to be absolutely transformational and amazing. It is going to be both men and women, and it's going to change your life. I've done retreats all over the world with Miss Lisa Nichols, and I do them myself now. And we just the amount of change and transformation that happens out of these retreats. Let me just give you a little glimpse of that, what the house is going to look like. Was that not dope or what? Was that dope? So what's going to happen is if you are in a committed relationship, if you are in a open relationship, we want you to come out because everybody has things that they want to improve on in their life. And we just want to help you transform your life so that you can be the best version of yourself. So you can go to weekendtowealth.com, weekendtowealth.com. And since it's a year out, you have a whole 10 months to pay for the retreat. And by the time it's ready to come up, it'll already be paid for. But what you're going to see, what you're going to experience, we have a full staff. We have chefs. We have people that are going to cater to you. We're going to pamper you. We have therapists that are going to be there. We have life coaches that are going to be there. And we have people that are just going to change your mind. And your wealth button is going to be opened up, and it's going to just change the trajectory of your future. So I'm excited about it. Go to weekendtowealth.com and go ahead and sign up today. We're excited about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed us today. Yes, look, she already writing it down. She's trying to go to Weekend of Wealth. Sign up for it today, you guys. Don't you have a retreat coming up too, April?
I do. It's called Wellness on the Beach. And actually it's going to be in October of this year. And our focus is going to be good food, vegan food. Our focus is going to be wellness, rest, and relaxation, loving on each other, and learning how to actually love on yourself. Ladies retreat. I'm sorry, gentlemen, ladies only. But we will do something for the gentlemen probably in 2022.
Woo, I love it. So we got a lot of stuff that's coming up to help you out holistically. And that's really what it's about. We like to have these conversations, and they're not just fruitless conversations. We really want to talk about things that enhance your life. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to what you want and what's going to enhance your life and your family's life. And in our community, we want to make sure that you just have the knowledge and the information that you need in order to be your best self. Any last words, April, stay or chill?
You know what? As far as relationships are concerned, love on yourself first. My husband and I had this conversation. He said, don't change who you are when it comes to this marriage, because I fell in love with who you are as a person. So if you change, I might change when it comes to how I feel about you. He's like, if you enjoy going out go out. If you enjoy staying in, stay in, but be organic and continue to be in love with yourself so that I can continue being in love with you.
That's beautiful. Girl, you know, a man that don't want you to lose yourself inside of him is a good man.
Yes.
Keep him. Yes. Stay. You got it.
Well, what I would say to April's point as well is don't just feel like you have to conform to keep someone. If you're not comfortable with the type of relationship that they're presenting or the things that they're asking you to be okay with, love yourself enough to say, I can't do that. Because if you enter into a relationship doing things or accepting things that are really non-negotiable for you, it's going to end up in a lot of bitterness and resentment. So you have to communicate your needs and desires, and don't lie just because you want to be with that person. You have to be honest, and then that way you will find someone who is truly your match.
Chill. Got any last words for us, brother?
Only thing I'd say is these three women here on this panel is an open relationship I wouldn't mind being a part of. I'm just saying.
Cindy, you got something?
I just think you should be your authentic self, and I think you should do what works for you and the person that you're with.
Exactly.
You know, I want to encourage people that you need to make sure that you are fulfilled within yourself. You never want to pour from an empty cup. You can't be no good for anybody else if you ain't good for yourself. Get yourself right, get your mind right, get your life right, and be the best you. Like, don't come to me as in my newly single self if you ain't got your ish together. If you haven't done the work on yourself, if you're not trying to be, the best person that you could be, don't come to nobody else half-assed. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are empty, I cannot fill you. I cannot fulfill you. Fill yourself so that we can be good together. And I would say that I recommend that, whoever you were with, whoever you end up being with for the rest of your life, the relationship is going to be great if you can be whole and complete within yourself. So thank you guys. Take care and God bless. Hey, Chill, thank you for hanging out with us today, brother. We appreciate it. We love to have a male perspective. So thank you for hanging out with us all day.
No problem.